Now I'm going to make you host. Okay. We're ready to rock and roll, folks.
Okay, wonderful. I'm just checking in if we're already on Facebook Live. Yes, we are. So thank you everyone for being here with us today. As I was telling to our speakers before, this is the Seeds of How conference. The topic we're handling today is the science of peace. And as all of you should know by now, we are coordinating this conference every 2 months to touch some of the topics that are included in the manifesto, which I got here, that it's already translated in Spanish as well. In this manifesto, we basically draft practical solutions on how peace should be taken out of the paper and start being a plan, and no longer talking about utopias, but something that we can all work together to make it real and happen. So everybody knows that we love not only talking, but doing and walking and doing it together. And we are already working in different projects, like, for example, on education and on other technology and environmentalism. And the thing is that science plays a very, very important role on absolutely everything we do. Science is evolving at a speed faster than maybe humans are doing. And in order to be able to handle the technology and the new discoveries that are being made, we also need to develop and grow in our consciousness to be able to handle all of that with a very big maturity. So I'm here with some experts, people that I respect very much, and I'm gonna give a very brief introduce to all of you. So everybody knows already who is Dr. Leong Ying. I am really honored to be part of his Clyster organization, which is devoted to find and build a bridge between science and spirituality, and who greatly does it, because Dr. Ying's discoveries on science, physics, and mathematics are really crossing the lines and opening new doors for us to evolve as humanity and give us all those numbers and facts that we want. We are no longer in a phase of faith and believing, but also in a practical times. So it's great to have Dr. Ying, who will explain much more of his science. And not little to say, a little bit of a spoiler is that he even proved scientifically the existence of God, which has to do a lot to do with peace, but I will let him explain about that. Here we have also with us, we have Mongkol. I'm so sorry, Mongkol, for not being able to pronounce your beautiful name perfectly. I'm quite, but it's Thitithamasak, I hope. Please correct me if I say it wrong. And well, Mongkol is an expert on IT and finance, and he works on the UN. And he has also invented a language learning system using just technology and software. I'm not really a techno geek and expert, so I'm gonna leave those words out of my mouth. But he has basically used technology also to help on education and many other fields. We also have with us the most beautiful smile I have ever seen in my life, Sami Uzun. He's an oceanographer, and he's also a crisis, he's an expert on crisis management. But most importantly, he's a very high consciousness that works devotedly to help other people. And it's amazing the person he is and all the work he does for others. All my respect, and I'm really looking forward to listen to him. All of you. Then we have David, who is not the first time he's with us. We're already getting used to his friendly face, and we're very happy to have him, since he's representing the Call to Friendship Association and also the World Brotherhood Association. And we're very happy because he's always sharing with us great knowledge that they work really hard to deliver to the world, to help and guide other people to a more enlightenment, let's say it that way. And Last but not least, we have Usei Merchan, who is not right now with us, but I will play a video of him. He's a outwater filmmaker, but he's also a visionary, and he has worked in many technology projects on many related to how we can use science to improve our quality of life. So all set. I'm not going to take much time because it's really precious what all of our speakers have to share with us today. And so I'm going to pass this to Dr. Yin, which I'm super happy and excited for you to share what you always share for free and devoted to all humanity. So please, everyone, mute their phones when it's not your turn to talk. And just said that, let's start. Leong?
Well, thank you very much again, Andrea. And obviously, thank you very much for inviting me onto this superb panel of experts, and obviously being a leader for the one humanity, one world that we so much need in this darkness of time that's spread all around the world. Now, behind me, you'll see my various, I have a pattern there. Sorry, I'm going backward. There's a pattern. There's an award-winning book. There's my Clydesdale book. There's my Planet Award book. Now, I sound extremely arrogant and egotistical. Well, that's because I am, okay? Because when I was a scientist, I'm a nuclear physicist. Now, all this sounds extremely over the top, and it is, but that's the area that I came from. I boldly, arrogantly stated that my twin universe is the ultimate science that explains everything: dark matter, dark energy, missing antimatter, quantum entanglement. And like I said to you, I approach this like a lot of scientists. I come from the academic field, so I know my fellow scientists. So I'm saying this coming to truth. We are extremely egotistical, arrogant bunch. But I understand that because we have to be focused, very, very narrowly focused on our theory. Because if we cannot believe it in ourselves, no one else will believe it. Okay. So that is so I'm just giving you the overview of where I came from as a part of humanity. So for me, coming up, peace was not an important thing, to be honest with you. Unimportant. It was discovering the truth, it was doing this, it was, making money, whatever it is. That was all important. The normal things of life, basically. We're all like that. Okay. And that's part of the problems of humanity right now. Okay. So as you know, I've been preaching for lots of years now about my science, and recently about that I'm going to deliver knowledge and truth. And I've been brainwashing people that I'm going to deliver you knowledge and truth. And then I had an actual shocking revelation, actually, because of your OHOW launch last year, which I believe was like 22nd of July or June, right? And then Dr. Nadeem, who's the presidential candidate of Afghanistan, which is one of our great members, which we're going to be helping to deliver peace. As you know, Afghanistan's been going through a lot of war. So he came up with this very, very suggestion. He said, why don't education we teach mathematics, right? We teach you how to count, we teach you language, we teach you how to read and write, but why don't they teach you peace? And my jaw like dropped. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm supposed to be a genius, right? Right? If you don't believe I'm a genius, I think I'm a genius. And yet, after all this year, I've been telling you, I'm going to give you knowledge and truth. But I do not explain to you what that knowledge and truth is for. And I'm like, so a light bulb hit me, and the light bulb say, this gentleman has taught me in one phrase what I've been missing out of my life. So all this arrogance about me, here's my medals, here's my award, here's my thing, I'm going to deliver knowledge and truth. And I had no idea what I was doing it for, other than for my own ego. No, I'm still not opposed to ego. I believe we do need ego. Ego is what helps us to climb Everest, swim the channel, do our own accomplishment. But obviously where we overstep is into our arrogance. So that gentleman, thanks to your platform that you gave, taught me the real reason for the knowledge and truth that I was to deliver. So, you know, I claim, oh, I found God through my science. Again, these are all superficial words, which regrettably most of us live in life. So it wasn't until I heard that inspirational word that clicked me. You know what? You've been stupid, Dr. Ying. You are stupid. Seriously, all right? You've been delivering all this thing. You've been coming up with all these equations, and you didn't have a clue what you were actually delivering it for, all right? And that is what I was missing out of my life, okay? And once that flame of true knowledge or wisdom was lit into my brain, what this was actually all for, okay? And that's why I am so heartened. And that's why even, thanks to Andrea, I've been reading the knowledge book regularly. Because in there, it teaches you about, don't let your ego overcome you, you know? And so I've been starting to learn now myself. So now I've been able to suppress my arrogance to make me realize that, you know what? I am not the smartest person on this planet. Maybe I'm the dumbest person on this planet. I couldn't even realize just how important peace is until I'm like 58 and a half years old. Like, that doesn't show you're a very smart person, right? So better take those plaques down. But no, I'll leave those plaques up. They'll remind me of my arrogance. They'll remind me of my overinflated egotistical nature. Now, am I going to change? Probably not. But at least now I have a true wisdom, a true vision of what this is all for. And it's all thanks to Andrea for launching this One Humanity, One World. And it's all thanks to Dr. Nadi for giving me that simple answer. Why don't you educate peace? So the science that I arrogantly proclaim, the knowledge and truth that I arrogantly state that I'm going to ram down humanity's throat, at least now I am smart enough and wise enough to realize what it is all for, and that is for bringing peace to humanity. So I want to leave on that thing for teaching me, bursting my arrogance, for teaching me, Andrea, the youngest of our collective member, and Dr. Nadi for teaching me what humanity should be all for, and that's for love and peace. So thank you. God bless you all.
That was very beautiful words, and I'm grateful for that. When we were still developing the OHOW and the purpose of OHOW, because things doesn't have a reason without a purpose. I love that one of your quotes, Dr. Ying, that you told me once, that science was meant to be not only to exist, but to help us reach the outer stars, but also to explore the inner spirits. So we plan to go beyond our own galaxy, beyond our solar system, but also deep in ourselves and find all the answers that we already have within us. And I think it's great and beautiful how you can really make mathematics, science, and physics and everything you do have a deeper meaning for all the other humans that maybe don't even think on science, like never. Most of people never are thinking about science, but how transcendental is that now in our lives nowadays? So I'm very grateful for you, for everything actually, but let's keep moving on. I'm very excited to now lead this platform to Mongkol, and he's an IT expert and technology expert, so I'm very, very excited to hear you what you have to say for us. So, dear Mongkol, this is all yours. Please, whenever you want. You're muted. You're muted.
Thank you, Andrea, and hi, everyone. I'm honored to be on the same panel with all the experts here. And as wise as the Dr. Leong Ying just mentioned, that life needs to have a purpose. And the purpose, what is the greatest purpose better than try to create peace on earth? And that's very honor purpose. So now I have to, I prepared some slides to show here. Just a few slides to talk my point. Let me share my screen. Okay, Andre, you have to give me the ability to share the slides. Mm-hmm. You know, a wise man once said, if you have to prepare a 10-minute presentation, it will take you 6 hours of preparation. But if you have to prepare 2 hours speech, you don't need to prepare, you can speak right now. Actually, it's quite difficult to try to pack so many things that you need to say and put into 10 minutes. So, but I'll try my best.
Yeah. You're still not sharing your screen, right?
Not yet. It's showing, yeah, you need permission. Yeah.
Can you request it again? Because nothing pops out on the screen.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about it. As soon as you can give me permission, I will be able to share that.
Try to request permission again, because nothing pops out. It doesn't tell us.
Maybe you have to pass the host to me.
Andrea, I have a notice here that host disabled participant screen sharing. So I think you clicked the wrong button, Andrea. You need to click on the share screen, and you need to go. So right now you're preventing share screening. So host, you say your host disabled participant screen sharing. If you're uncertain, Andrea, just set me up as the host, and I will do it. Okay, so just make me the host. Okay, all right, I am now the host. Apologies, little technical difficulty. All right, now you have it, Mongkol. You can now share your screen.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, we can see your shared screen now, Mongkol.
Yes.
Excellent.
Okay, I'll start with basic quote here. Schools create smart kids. Parents make sure that smart kids won't turn evil. And this quote is basically by me. I inspired by my parents who really value education, and they always tell me that they won't leave anything for me, but they will make sure that they will support me as high as possible for me to get my education. So I can have my bachelor degree, master's degree, I can have a successful career, but as much as one person is, but if that person turn into evil, that's double-edged sword. So my mission in life is to make sure that all parents in the world doing the toughest job on earth, because to make sure that the kids that they are raising will turn into good citizens. So let's start with some facts here. We know that resolve conflicts and create peace in the world. This is not easy task. It's very challenging, and peace in the world takes time. But today we can start with peace of mind. We can do it today, and I hope that after 10 minutes here, everyone will be able to somehow reach the level of peace of mind. How do we achieve peace of mind? We have to understand facts of life. Fact number one, world is always changing. So it could be, the changing could be for good and for bad, but when something bad happens, and if we know that we expect changes and we can make peace with it, then we won't be affected with the changing of the world. And we need to know that sometimes change also brings suffering, but you have to be on the optimistic side and understand that this is the fact of life. And we need to know that we can't take what we own to the end of life. So I'll start the concept of I, that leads to the concept of mind. And when you have the concept of mind and you don't have things that you used to own anymore, then you're suffering. So what I'm trying to say here is, what if we try to control our ego and try to understand that we here on earth to serve a purpose, to do good things, and don't attach too much about the award that we receive. This is my money, this is my cars, this is my belongings. When you have things that you cannot take with you at the end of life, and you hold on to it too much, that will bring you suffering. And I also believe that creating peace in the world starts at home. So step to do that is very simple. We need to promote positive behaviors in order to create peace, with 3 simple steps of think positively. When you think positively, you always look at the bright side. You don't try to look for negative things on people. And you have to say, when you think positively, then you start saying positively. And when you say positive thing, that promote positive behaviors. And when one can repeat these steps, then everyone is creating peace in the process. And when I grew up, my parents always remind me of these 5 daily code of ethics of don't kill, don't steal, don't lie, don't commit adultery, don't consume intoxicating alcohol and drugs. Because the last one is very important, because if you lose your consciousness, you can commit all the other 4, pretty much. So the world needs to create smart and good citizens in order to create peace. Being smart, one person needs to discover passion. And once the passion is discovered, then the person needs to enhance their skills and use their skill to solve world challenging problems. For example, like UN 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which is the world problem that need all the smart people to solve it. And what is being good? Being good, that person needs to be accountable, responsible, caring, sharing, and be respectful. What does it mean accountable? When kids these days, they might not know that we have to teach them the concept of ownership. They are citizens on Earth. They have to make sure Earth is protected and it's going to be passed it on to the next generation. Once they feel like they own it, then they feel responsible. They have to take actions. And they need to be caring. They need to know that not only human beings are on Earth. We are sharing with animals, with plants, with all living creatures on Earth. Then we need, once we know that, then we will care, feel caring, and then we will be respectful. So now, what is my contribution? I have created a computer system that will allow anyone to learn a second language or third language with ease. And this is pattern. And why I believe this is because when you learn, which is to promote peace, because when you learn a language and you learn culture, then you understand values of the other culture, and that will lead into understanding and less conflicts. And that I believe that could lead to peace somehow. This is what I believe. And I involved in an organization called YesCoin that we are working on blockchain and cryptocurrency. We want to promote financial literacy. And we started with producing videos on YouTube that explain in 10 different languages. In 3 minutes, anyone can learn about what blockchain is, what cryptocurrency, what KYC, ML regulations, and why we need to understand this, because the world is changing and we need to prepare our kids to be smart, to understand what is the future of money and the future society. And we also run the program of just called Fight COVID, which is 57 days that every day we share the knowledge from World Health Organization and US CDC. And because knowledge saves life, and we value this very much, so we did it for 57 days straight. And we also run the program called Go Green with YesCoin, which is we promote the knowledge of reuse, reduce, and recycle in the communities, and hope that everyone will feel accountable, responsible, sharing, caring, and be respectful. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a great presentation. And you know, you truly touch the heart of what One Humanity, One World really is. And is that peace first starts within ourselves, then it starts in our homes, then the entire world becomes our family, so we can start loving everyone, and hence make real peace. You really explain it so well, and it's wonderful to work with you, Mongkol, and all your views and all you're doing to help others. It's very beautiful, and it was great that people can share and talk and give knowledge and information to everyone. So technology is not so far of current people's minds like mine. I am not a techno geek, so I'm far from understanding that, but I'm really respectful. And thanks to people like you, I can come more approach to understand that. So thank you. And now we are passing to Sami, who is speaking us from Turkey, Istanbul. And Sami, this platform is all yours. Longing to hear you.
Thank you, Andrea. Today, as a sailor who has sailed for 13 years, as an oceanographer, as a son, as a lover, and a husband, then as a father, and finally, as a peace traveler, I will humbly try to share my light as an expression of the supreme cosmic consciousness on my way, the secrecy and beauty of peace I have been grasping until now. My dear fellow peace pioneers, dear guests, I would like to evaluate peace in 3 different dimensions. These 3 dimensions, each of which lies within the other. the base is interpersonal peace. Within interpersonal peace lies international peace, and within international peace lies intergalactic peace. Consequently, if we can get the soul interpersonal peace, the rest would follow. Each and every one of us is a unique living being as an expression of the supreme cosmic consciousness. So it is worth listening to the story of each and every one of us, considering them as the travelers of peace. As far as I'm concerned, peace is not something that can be found elsewhere, but within yourself. You should turn into yourself and try and excavate your multidimensional personality to build a brand new you in every moment of your life with surely patience. As a very popular Sufi, all you know, Rumi says, I'm not a drop in an ocean, but an ocean in a drop. By saying that, he reflects on the fractal nature of the universe and divine interconnectedness of the supreme consciousness. The language of visceral consciousness is love. Love binds and connects us all, and love has no contrary nor any opposites, but a constant interaction which is dynamically available for all observers in the universe. Since we are all connected to supreme cosmic consciousness through our very existence and by the help of our potential to observe, this possibility gives us a freedom to have an access to our inner self, which is infinitely deep and eternal and meets our very nature, which is love. Love cannot be expressed through duality. Therefore, the language of love is one and the only universal criterion for all living beings in the universe. As the supreme cosmic consciousness says, nothing can circle my eternity, reserve or contain my vastness and mightiness. Nothing is capable of carrying or containing me as a body, neither the heaven nor the earth, but the heart as a lover. As you may all be well aware of the fact that we are all beings of light. We emit light and communicate through light. Our all senses are light receptors, tuned and calibrated to perceive the logarithmic reality surround us. All which is based on light interactions. Light connects us all, and through light, we are capable of communicating with one another. All forms of communications in the universe are light-based communications, and communication would be possible if light-based interactions didn't exist. When we talk about communication, we often refer to resonance and interference-based communication. Without communication, we wouldn't cease to exist or evolve and learn. In other words, communication makes evolution and development possible. Therefore, resonance is the basis of communication and allows us to interact with one another, to exchange experience and knowledge. In another way of saying, in a Sufic way, to be reflected on each other's mirror of consciousness, to have an access to our divine ocean of reality. Light is the divine language of the cosmic consciousness, which talks and interacts through light. Light is a carrier of information and divine wisdom. In other words, light is a universal linking, binding, and unifying force, making the reality visible to be perceived by all forms of observers, such as humans, animals, flowers, other intelligent extraterrestrial beings. Celestial observers and bodies like planets, stars, galaxies, and other forms of observers we do not know yet. Then life is based on light and communication. The definition of life would be, life is communication. Life is light. Life is light and information readiness the importance of perceiving everything, and therefore seeing things as life forms despite their manifestations. Therefore, everything is alive and is a life form because multiverse is alive, which makes everything alive. Dear friends, before ending this short, humble speech on peace, I sent lastly but not leastly my love in the spectrum of visible and non-visible light as the interscalar observer bridge between micro and macro, namely between the space and the time, with the terminology of interscalar cosmology. Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Sami. You are definitely pure light. You make it so easy to understand many things that don't sound so simple, but it was wonderful. Thank you very much for your speech. Now I'm gonna pass it down to David, which I know that he has prepared a speech too. And well, David, the platform is all yours.
Thank you very much. I am here today as one of the representatives for Call to Friendship Association, where we work with the knowledge book, which gives divine cosmic energies which evolve us, and a book that contains universal knowledge to create a higher divine consciousness of peace and unification on Earth. We call this speech Science of Peace to create divine consciousnesses that creates peace. We have science in the world to be able to discern how the reality works. However, the world is suffering and has in our quantum world, where all is connected, an acute need to have our minds focused on creating positive energy in peaceful solutions to be able to heal and survive. Positive energy and unconditional love are also what human beings need to rehabilitate and regenerate. Science of peace can, for example, be to create scientific solutions to give room and strength back to nature so that nature can have the power to give back to us. When nature gives more to us, we will have an easier way to keep ourselves from fighting and competing for natural resources. We have to help the whole world with science of peace, with a mindset that there are no borders in the world. The Earth is a whole, and every part affects other parts in certain ways beyond our creation of boundaries. Peace science can be to make scientific knowledge that empowers people's mind to embrace peace. For example, with scientific knowledge and its scientific solutions that give us the power and knowledge to release us from living in survival mode and ego. Fighting for our survival needs, making us not to reach a higher consciousness where we can release all the old history of war and come to the evolved maturity level of forgiving by detachment from ego and old destructive programming in minds. I would also like to call peace science for divine science. That can be science that gives us more knowledge about the effects of our behavior and how a changed behavior of humankind can positively affect life on Earth. For example, to provide us with scientific knowledge about the effects some men in the world give to the world by discriminating the woman's love power, and how that affects the world coming nearer a peaceful mind. A mind that lives for peace. All life on Earth needs this power love from the women to thrive in a consciousness of peace. The psychologist and mystic Carl Jung expressed, "Where love rules, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, love is lacking. The one is the shadow of the other." End of quote. Another scientific focus we must have is to give solutions how to educate our children to a consciousness of peace and unification, where we see no borders and no races, just one humanity, one world. Solutions where the inherent knowledge of our star seed children are bloomed with an education of a higher divine consciousness. Solutions that will make them not to feel confused about the quantum energy fields of ego, fear, and war. And in identification and worth by matter and outer appearance. A divine consciousness makes our thoughts become more constructive, thus leading to that we focus our science to create in a godly, harmonious, and positive way for all that is created. And this will help our Earth's vibrational energy frequency to heal and come to the level where it can also regain the strength to heal itself. Our thoughts affect and create in our quantum physical world. We live in a universal school here on Earth. Higher hierarchical levels monitor our lives and behaviors. Most humans would probably call them extraterrestrials. They are more evolved than us and live naturally in a divine consciousness where science of peace is a natural focus and behavior. Their every day is lived to create peace by a divine consciousness education to all the living beings in the let's see. All the living beings in the let's see, some technical problems here. Let's do like this. I start over a little bit. Their everyday is lived to create peace by a divine consciousness education to all the living beings in the universes, where we create and act according to divine constructive thoughts, so that the universes can be upheld, balanced, and thrive. According to the Lord's commands, these extraterrestrials have given us a technological tool to create peace and unification on Earth. This technological tool is called the Knowledge Book, and it has many functions. One of them is that it enables attraction, integration, and reflection of divine cosmic energy waves from higher dimensional divine realms, which we cannot reach by our own brain power. One purpose of all the purposes the book has is to help us create more positive thought energy reflection, to heal and evolve in an accelerated way to divine consciousness of peace and unification. The cosmic energies help us to create a divine consciousness of peace and unification on Earth and in the universes. In the Knowledge Book, it is written, these waves are sent to your planet to bring your consciousness to the required level. Otherwise, you would not be able to progress in the field of science and learning. You would not be able to complete your evolutions. Quote from Fascal 25. In another message in the Knowledge Book named Service to Humanity is Through Learning and Science. Service to universes is through the mind and thought. It says, we are giving the energies of all the dimensions from the center under supervision. We are unifying all the frequencies by supervising all the groups on your planet. Unification is achieved by universal laws. Now differences are being brought to an end, quote from Fascal 14. In peace science, we try to become wiser by asking ourselves what we can learn from our mythological and historical past. And what does all that is created require to function in balance, harmony, flow? Then we try to make that scientific creation into our reality. The ancient Greek philosopher Plato said, wisdom alone is the science of other sciences, end quote. The philosopher Descartes expressed, by the science of morals, I understand the highest and most perfect, which presupposing an entire knowledge of the other sciences is the last degree of wisdom, end quote. In peace science, we integrate research on theosophy, which means the science of God. Then we will know how to act and create with a divine consciousness. In the Knowledge Book, it is written, this dictated knowledge book is the constitution of the universal ordinance, and it is the projection of the science of theosophy on your planet. The one who is responsible for it is the World Lord. It is being dictated by a special channel connection to the channel of Dear Mevlana. The Lord gives the dictated knowledge directly. Ammon projects it, and we convey it. The universal ordinance and the truths are being notified to you by this means. Quote from Fascal 20. Thank you all for listening. We are with you to create the conscious, peaceful mind on Earth in the Olympics of Peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Thank you very much. And it's great that you also talk about frequency, because now I'm gonna play a video of my friend and one of our speakers today that regrettably couldn't make it to be here with us presently, but he sent us a video from Canada talking about something that is a little bit related to it, but less talking on my part. I'm gonna try to share my screen and put the video so you all can see it. Give me 1 second and please let me know if you can all see the video. Can you all see the video? Wonderful. So I'm gonna put it play now.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on this panel and for this discussion, because I think it's really important with what people are trying to get out. And I really appreciate being part of all the people here today. I'm sorry I can't be there, but this is the best that we could do. So let's get into it. The topic of science in peace. What is science in peace? I'm not a doctor. I don't come from professional medical background, but I am an artist. So the way I view the world is from a completely different perspective. Now, for me, the science is beyond what we can calculate. So the first thing to understand is what makes us achieve peace is some form of unity, some form of acceptance. Now, when we need to break that down, how do we break that down in singularity? It would come down to simple consciousness, because for us to understand, to attain peace, we need to be able to be sympathetic, but also communicate on a conscious level. And that's beyond language, beyond race, beyond color, and things like, creed and class and social society classes, stuff like that is how we don't achieve peace. So how do we bring in the science? What I've been trying to do is work with Dr. Leong, who's also on this, and Andrea, who's had me on this, on speaking to them of if we can come up with a way of calculating our frequency. Because if we can calculate our frequency, then at the right frequency, we're able to be conscious, but also communicate consciously, because that's the energy we give out. Now, how does that happen? On the psychological table, there's different ways of calculating emotion, and each emotion has a certain number rating. Now, all of that taken up, highest level, we have nirvana. So if we constantly calculate what we're emitting, the science behind that is how we program our mind to respond to each emotion at each given moment. How do we do that? We've got to think from the heart. And that's the science. The science for me in this is to attain peace, we think that we need to use our mind. Rather, our mind is only there to process what we actually experience and feel. And that comes from the heart. And we need to learn to think from them. If you ask me how we're going to get there, I don't have the answers because I'm still in that process of finding out. But for us, in a creative way, beyond what we know in numbers and books, because fact is only fact until proven otherwise. And so that always changes. And so for us to prove fact, let's go beyond that. What about what we actually see and feel and believe? And there's proof of that. Intention being that way. So if our intention from the beginning on a conscious level is for materialistic reasons, and any project, be it with the United Nations, be it with COVID, be it with whatever it may be, if that intention is that, then that outcome is going to be that. Therefore, there's not going to be peace. So how do we get to peace? Start with the intention of what do I want from this and how am I going to get it? But what does that do for someone else? Not what it does for yourself personally. And I think that's the biggest question that we as a human race combined must constantly ask us. Ask yourself, which is, how does this action help another sector of a race or people? Or how is it affecting or changing their lives? Because if you're not doing that, then you're not helping to get to the level of peace, because you're not helping solve a problem. So that's where I am with this journey and quest of finding peace using science. And along the way, we hope to develop not only an app that we can control that, but why do we want to calculate our steps all the time? But why not calculate our frequency? If we know how we are at a given moment, then you're going to know how to react and therefore maintain a certain level, your heartbeat, the lines of frequency. you're going to maintain that at a different level. And I think that's important. And that's the only thing I have to say about it. So I wish everybody good health, stay safe in these times, and thank you very much for having me.
Okay, so that was Yuzi's video. It was, wait, sorry, give me a second. Okay, technology is kind of fun today. So it's great what he was talking about, because we're actually working together to develop an application with technology, which is part of science, to measure our frequency, just like we can know how many steps we're doing in a day in our phones, you know? So why is that so important, and how that really contributes to peace? As well, our speakers before were talking about that we are light, that we are frequency, and we are continuously on, and peace has its own frequency as well. And if we're consciously controlling and putting all of our intentions in always doing our best to be on the highest frequency as possible, that will really cause a great impact on the entire planet and on humanity as well. So that's a little bit of what we are working on. And it was a huge pleasure to have all of you here with us, despite the different time zones, despite the different corners of the world. I think that we're all very happy, and it was wonderful to hear all of you. So now, if anyone has any question or comment that we'd love to make, we have 10 minutes for that.
Oh, yeah, I would like to obviously part of the organization that you form is not just for talking but for walking. So obviously Yuzi mentioned about the collaborative projects that you and I are working on regarding the measurement of the frequency. So obviously our two eminent speakers, Sami and David, have mentioned about the importance of the energy, and it's part of the science. You know, those that follow the science of the string theory, is all about vibration. Everything in existence, every life, anything is all about vibration. Okay, so it is. I mean, in current science, so we're made of matter, but what's matter? Einstein equals mc squared. So every matter is an energy component, and what's energy? A vibration. So if we can use technology to measure, quantify that frequency, that would then help us to adapt. But anyway, so that's one project. But an even bigger project, as you know, which Andrea, I'm so blessed to be involved with, is to create and fund over 1 million solar panel tablet. Why is that? Because it's our goal, our organization headed by Andrea, to incorporate all these technology, including my knowledge and truth, but for the purpose, as I think Sami said, Monka said, we got to have a purpose, and that purpose is for peace. And with the technology, like Monka is an absolute genius. So the tablet that we have will incorporate his patented, so this guy is a genius, he's patented his artificial intelligence. Therefore, it takes out that biased teaching, and he'll use this technology to teach from the very youngest, from the literally before a baby can even walk. His artificial intelligence can be incorporated in our technology base to help from the youngest to learn how to count, how to read and write, but most importantly, how to be a human being, you know. And, you know, that's something that I've just started to learn. So I'm learning that thanks to great people like yourself. That's been, you know, part of my journey, and I'm blessed indeed. So it's more of a comment that I had to make on that.
Anyone else? That's great. You don't have to. I think we have touched many topics, and it was very wonderful, and I know that the audience really enjoy it. So thank you once again, and I'm gonna end up this conference. This will be recorded and shared with everyone publicly. So thank you again for being here with us today, and bless you all, and love for you all, and much gratitude. And let's make peace happen every day. within our lives and to everyone. That is the most contagious thing, love.
Absolutely.
Not fear.
Absolutely.
So,
Amen to that. Amen to that. All right. God bless you all. Stay
Thank you,
safe,
thank you.
everyone. All right.
It's an honor here. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.